Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's Board of Health meeting for July 8th, 2026. Just a reminder, we are being recorded. Roll call, please.
Ron Fickner here.
Joyce Gilmore here.
Colleen Straponi here.
Jack McClellan here.
Alan Greenberg here. We're all here. All right. Good and welfare for the public. Anyone in the audience or at home that has anything they would like to say?
We have no one in the audience or online with us.
All right, moving on to new business. Jordan, you're up.
All right, Mr. Chairman, we do have Jordan Andrade as the AML inspector. We are looking for an appointment from the board, so the board would like to continue on with questioning or commentary. Looking for a board's vote for appointment.
Huh?
I'll defer to my, I'll invoke chivalry.
Ladies first. Okay, Joyce.
Female counterpart.
Well, I'm very pleased with what he has for techniques and doing things, and that he's busy all the time, and I'd like to see him busy in our area doing stuff for us.
We'll keep it simple. Welcome aboard. I'm looking forward to working with you. It's great that you're, here in the area, very familiar with the area. Nice background and high compliments from Colleen, who known for a long, long time. So thank you. Very excited. So hopefully you're just as excited.
And so I don't repeat what my colleagues have said. I'm also excited that you're already working in the area, and this is just going to be additional to what you already do for our neighbors. So I think that's a great thing, because as I'm sure you already know, we do try to help our neighbors out. There always is a little bit of overlap, or someone is backing somebody else up. So I think this is an exciting opportunity for everyone. And do we need a formal?
You need a formal nomination and vote. Motion.
Motion to,
Appoint Jordan Andrade as AML inspector for the town of Mendon.
there you go, appoint Jordan Andrade to animal inspector for the town of Mendon.
Effective.
Motion.
Was there an effective date?
Do Monday. I believe that's the 13th.
Yep.
Yeah, so do Monday, July 13th. If that's good for you, hon.
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, we should check with him. Did you have anything to say out of curiosity before?
No, not unless you guys have any other questions. I'm just happy for the opportunity.
I vote that we accept you as our wonderful barn and whatever you do.
Thank you.
We would love having you here.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Tom, aye.
Joyce, I.
Alan, aye. Welcome aboard.
All right, you're officially appointed.
Congratulations.
Jordan, if I could just get your signature on the MDR form as the official animal inspector for the town of Mendon, please.
Yay.
Did we tell him about the 3 annual gathering events that he has to support us on with the beverages?
Does
No,
he have to
okay.
get sworn in by
We'll
him?
skip that.
I don't believe so. But I'm gonna give you a call tomorrow morning and give you the information, because I'm gonna get you a key fob. I'm gonna get you business cards. I'm gonna get you all sorts of stuff,
Okay.
email address and everything.
And
Yep.
the quarantine book.
I talked to, you can go up to the shelter and you can get the one for Blackstone. You can actually, it's a book, so you can use it for Mendon too. They
Okay.
have it for you up there.
Okay.
I
Great.
talked to Kevin. I don't know, the other day.
Okay. Speaking of books, just curious, had any of the barn inspections started yet this year?
They don't start till October, so fall
Oh.
time. Yeah, that's when they mail them out to us.
So it's perfect timing. And then also too, it would be nice to maybe, we can go together and spend some time going around the town and looking for other bands that, haven't been discovered yet. We should include them on the book.
But we can talk more on that when we get you set up and everything. All right, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On 5 Bay Street, local upgrade for a septic system.
All right, there is a local upgrade. I do have Tom Ryder's memo that dated June 30, 2026, 5 Bay Street. The memo states the applicant is requesting a local upgrade approval for the proposed septic system upgrade for the above referenced property. The current facility is a 3-bedroom house with a failed septic system. Title V requires that the soil absorption system be at least 4 feet above estimated seasonal high groundwater. Local upgrades for repairs are allowed for up to 1 foot reduction to the offset. The proposed system will have a 3-foot offset to the groundwater. As this is a repair, I am recommending the approval of the Title V local upgrade, and that is signed by Tom Ryder, Title V engineer for the town of Mendon.
Any questions? Comments?
One of my colleagues, eyes of chivalry first.
You know, it seems to me that if you've got your writer doing the whole recommended things that you have to do, then it seems like this is the best way they're gonna do it. It's gonna get done.
Yeah, of course, our representative was there during testing.
Stephen,
Yeah.
yep, I saw him just the other day.
You know, engineers known to us.
Yeah,
So when I reviewed it, I thought that everything looked in order.
and would work.
Well, initially, when I, was reviewing the paperwork on it, a couple of questions that, come to mind.
Okay.
Just from a clarity standpoint, I had Jack look into a couple of things, and I was talking to Colleen a little bit about it, and had a conversation with Tom actually this morning. I was wondering if this was actually, as it was presented, what it actually was. Was it a repair? Was it new? Where did it fall? Because it looked like, they had it marked as replacing the entire septic system, but then I was seeing the repair element, but I guess that's how they kind of view it in that category, to repair or replace, because it's existing. I just got a little confused. I didn't know how extensive they were gonna get with the work, if it was a component. But looking at the plan, it looks like it is a replacement. And, of course, from what I was able to find out, which I guess at the time, the homeowner wasn't sure, because there was a mention on there, which I hadn't seen before, when asked about the type of existing system. It said, not sure what happens after the septic tank, which I thought was kind of interesting. But we did determine, Jack had pulled up an old pumping record from the property from 20 years ago. That was done, and it was circled as a cesspool.
Right.
So that kind of confirmed that that's what was there. And of course, engineers not knowing per se, there would be no reason for them to kind of ask them to go in advance and try to find out. They can always, as they're digging it up, that would have been the process I would have supported anyway, to just inform us as to what it was. But since we found out it was a cesspool,
Yeah, it's
We
gonna
kinda
be pretty,
know.
it's gonna be pretty old.
yeah, the house, well, Jack, I had Jack pull something up from me earlier. The home was built in 49.
Okay.
So it does go back, quite a bit. So, the other question I had was whether or not in the layout, the land's pretty flat there. And it talked about, this request that they're asking for going from 4 to 3. They looked like they were trying to, avoid putting in a pumping station. And I wondered whether or not that was okay, to use that upgrade to do that. But in talking with Tom and, kind of reassured me with the design flow, it's going to be much better system structure than what's in place. And, we have a, certified engineer involved in the process as well. So they know, he knows the Title V way better than I do. I'm going to defer to his expertise.
There you go.
I talked to Stephen, because, I've known Stephen since he was a little kid. He was my babysitter. Stuff for
He babysat you?
for my kids. And so I was talking to him, and he agreed to that, and he's, the best situation going now. So we were happy about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't the perk like 14 minutes an inch, I think I
Yeah.
read, which is
15 maybe, but
yeah.
In that time period, yeah.
right, so we're looking for a motion and a vote, please.
That we accept the Tom Ryder repair for 5 Bay Street,
Yeah, 5 Beach Street.
5 Bay Street, it's a local upgrade.
Yeah, I'll second the motion to accept the local upgrade based on the recommendation presented.
All in favor?
Tom, aye.
Joyce, I.
Alan, aye.
Thank you.
Right, moving on. Old business, purple air sensor update, please.
All right, so as the board is aware, Mass DEP has awarded us a grant for the purple air sensors that I'll be placing around town. As you can see on screen, I currently have 2 placed right now. I have 1 placed at the town hall, and the second one is already at Lake Nipmuc at the beach shack. My third attempt, my third location is going to be up at the top at Misco area. Then going down here for Providence Street area. And I just talked to Southwick Zoo, and 1 will be down here at the bottom lower left-hand corner. So we will have 5. So Town Hall, the beach, Misco Hill School, a private resident on Providence Street here, and over here at Southwick Zoo. That will be the 5 sensors.
Pretty good.
Now, is that currently reflective of what it's telling us the air quality is currently?
For right now, yes. Yep.
I think you can click on it too, and then it gives you.
Yeah, if you
additional
click on the
information.
numbers,
Yeah,
How
see,
does it work?
and it'll tell you what the air quality is and other data too. It's pretty neat.
And all you need is the Wi-Fi.
yep, Wi-Fi connection, and obviously electricity to plug it in. So I'm slowly getting them up and running.
Yeah, oh, that's pretty good. Now, can we access sensors in other towns?
Yep, well, Blackstone's right underneath us.
Yep.
Come on. There's Blackstone right here.
Yeah.
And it should tell you this is Blackstone Recycling Center.
Oh, good.
So there's the name of what the sensor is called right here.
Yeah.
That's the Millville Playground.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice that that's all shared.
And that's the Blackstone Public Library.
How does it work?
It just, you have to register the device, each device on the Mass State website for the registration, and they pull in all the data, so it just takes in the data.
Will an alarm go off if it gets to a certain number?
No. I will get notified. I am on the email. I will get notified if it gets that high.
What's ideal? I mean,
Well,
we're seeing some 70s. What's ideal?
you can see right here the scores.
Yeah.
They'll tell you.
Yeah, see that green and yellow in the corner down there, Alan?
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
So it looks like, I think there's numbers in there, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Give me 1 second. Let me show you something. I'm working on a web page. See, Purple Air Sensor work in progress.
Okay, yeah.
Purple Air Sensor tells you what it does, what it's do, where the locations are. There's the map. Here's the link for this. There you
There you
go.
go.
Yep.
I can zoom in.
Good is green.
Put this.
I'm in the moderate category, it looks like in the area.
That's 0 to 50.
0 to 50 is good. 51 to 100 is moderate. Some people who may be unusually sensitive to particles pollution. Next number is unhealthy for sensitive groups, 101 to 150.
Right, so 75 would be halfway in the moderate.
Correct.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I would say that anything under 75 is pretty good.
Yeah. And it tells you usually sensitive people, sensitive groups.
That's why it's good to have them at the ball fields and at the schools too,
Right.
so that, kids with asthma and whatnot, they can check, right?
Saw that asthma reference there in the unhealthy
Yeah.
one.
Yep. Yep.
Recommendation there.
People with asthma.
Like we have one at the school and there's a soccer camp this week. So, I mean, granted, yesterday was kind of a washout, but like tomorrow, today, tomorrow and Friday, you know,
Yeah.
there's kids that have asthma, they access that information and they may not, you know, want to participate.
Or the instructor can pay extra attention. to
Yeah,
this.
or modify their, you
Yeah,
know, their
correct.
workout,
Yeah.
you know?
Out of curiosity, I think, I recall the recommendation came to us from Brendan.
Brendan Chanel.
Is he up to date on where we are with all this at this point, you know?
No, I have not updated him yet.
I was thinking at some point we should probably,
Well, I figure once all 5 cents up, I'll let
once
him.
everything's done, yeah.
Yeah, but once
He knows-
everything's
I
set
think
up
he
and
knows
done.
we're active.
What's that?
He knows we're active.
Yes, he does, yeah. It was known at the last select board meeting.
Got a shout out to Brendan for
Yeah,
bringing that to us. And
especially where, you know, there was a grant
Yeah.
available.
Yeah.
You hate to let something like that pass by.
good.
Obviously, our neighbors are utilizing the same resource, so.
Mhm.
Cool. And then up to the school system, that,
Yep. I mean, I think it's great, you know, that you can go on and especially for, you know, for people who are affected by, you know, the air quality. You know, they can go online and see the information in their area.
Now, here's a question. Does anyone know if there's actually an app that somebody can put on their phone for that purpose, so that it's monitoring the air on their phone, and if it senses something, it gives them an alert on their phone? Should be a really cool direct notification, right? You know, if anyone,
Not to my knowledge.
I was curious.
I don't think the sensors are made for that.
What a great, they give a great marketing idea to somebody else.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of, can you access it using?
You can, yeah, it's just a
Oh, yeah.
web
Yeah.
page. It's just a web page.
You can access their.
Yes.
But if it hits, but if it, like he's saying, if it hits 101, do we get alerted? I get an email getting alerted, but for somebody else on it, no, you would have to look at the page to see what's going on.
Decisions.
Correct. Correct.
What you were comfortable with based on,
Exactly.
never know what's coming down the pipe now.
Technology.
Yep. Anything else on this topic? Work in progress, thank you. Wind waste intermunicipality agreement.
All right, so the subcommittee of the 10 communities met this afternoon to talk about our next steps. KP Law is going to be a representative representing the 35 communities so far. And now it's just a matter of pricing for the attorney and how much, because we're trying to cap out, cannot exceed in the agreement so much money for each town to put out. So that's where we are currently right now. So KP Law is going to be the representing attorney for us for the cities. But now we're trying to cap off a limit of how much money each community is going to be putting out to get this agreement done.
Is it the same group of communities?
They're looking at, currently right now, they're thinking 30 communities. We have a list of 35. So it all depends on that dollar amount that they're, like the smaller communities are gonna like either balk out or not. But they went back to KP Law this afternoon, trying to get a dollar amount, how many hours it's gonna take for them to start the process, to end the process. So that's where we're currently right now.
Any other questions, comments on that topic? Board of Health admin updates, please.
All right, I presented the board a copy of the Public Health Emergency Preparedness Representative Letter. Again, we have to do this every single year on who's going to be the representative for the town to vote on for Mendon. I will be the primary, and I put Colleen as the secondary if I'm forever not available. So I'm just looking for the board's
Yes, I think
discussion.
that's so well together and things are important. I think it's good.
Everybody, any other comments? Someone want to read the document that I'm
Yep.
going to sign?
They all have a copy.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
good.
You just have the original to sign off
All
on.
right. Got a motion on this.
I don't believe so.
Well,
Is it like another appointment?
Well, we could. It would.
Yeah.
Yeah, just why not? Yeah.
Nominated, right.
Motion.
I can make a motion that we, that Jack McClellan, Board of Health Administrator from the town of Mendon, will continue to be the Region 2 SEEP,
Step. Yep.
representative for FY '27. And if for any reason Jack is unable to represent the town, the alternate will be Colleen Straponi, health agent, and can be reached at,
We're good.
Any reason? It's pretty broad. So I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Tom, I.
Joyce, I.
Alan, I.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
Thank you. All right, next was the electronic sustainability event follow-up. We had our, was it last Saturday? Was it Saturday before?
Last weekend.
Was it
No, it
last-
was
No,
not,
weekend.
no, the
weekend
weekend
before.
before, yeah.
So on July,
We were busy.
Yeah, it was good.
Can I
no,
expect-
June 27th, I'm sorry, June 27th, Saturday, June 27th. Colleen and I were down at the Misco taking in mattresses, box springs, couches, TVs, air conditioners.
Mattresses like we
Dehumidifiers.
read about.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
a lot of mattresses and box springs this year.
Really?
So bad, or so much that they had to get a second truck to come in just for mattresses.
And one of the
alone.
mattresses had a friend.
Yeah, a four-legged friend with a long tail.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
What was it?
it was a rat.
Really?
Came out
Yeah, came out of a mattress.
right across the
That
parking
would
lot.
scare the
Ah,
chickens out of me.
Oh, you and me both. I'm glad I didn't see it.
I'm glad it was a country.
But you said,
do you know the person who dropped that one off?
Yeah.
I think it was, yeah,
We suspect.
yeah.
Yeah.
He came back like 6 times with like 5 mattresses.
My word.
But what were some of the towns? Because it was
Oh,
for
God, they-
Blackstone, Millville, no, Blackstone, Upton, Hopedale, and Mendon. But
Then, Clinton, Hudson, Berlin, Milford. There was it Framingham or?
Framingham came?
Yeah, Framingham.
we don't know how they found out, but they came,
Dropped off their stuff.
paid for their stuff to be dropped off, and they dropped it off.
Yeah.
And do we get credit for that in some way, shape or form, like
We get a
an
good, we
attaboy?
get a good feel.
Attaboy.
Yeah, attaboy.
Yeah, that didn't end up on the side of the road. I think, you know what I think had a lot to do with the two is that it seemed that National Grid sent out a notification for the dehumidifiers. You know, if you brought one, they gave you a $30 rebate and they did a blast and that I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That I think also drew the people because we had 100.
We had about 125 car vehicles, which is almost even to what we had last year. We had 120 last year.
Wow.
And dehumidifiers, the guy told me he had about 80 dehumidifiers that were dropped off.
Well, I can, participate and I can say that the green team guys were great.
Yep, they are.
Very respectful, very helpful. It's a nice, quick, clean transaction.
Yeah, you don't have to get out of your car. They take it right out for you.
Yeah, because they do these events throughout the whole entire state.
Yeah.
It's good to see that, that they're sending us quality people, quality equipment, and they know exactly what to do. So we should continue
Yeah.
to do that. I know it felt good to get rid of some stuff. I was getting rid of it the right way.
Yeah, the mattresses alone, because you see them on the side of the road. So I was really thrilled that we collected that many mattresses because that was that many that.
Because lots of times, right?
Right, on the side of the road, and there were a lot.
There were a lot. Also bad they had to get a second truck in.
Yeah. Yeah, there, I
And
mean,
who is the trucker that takes care of that? Who's?
Well, Green Team has their own vehicles.
Okay.
So they stick it in their own vehicles and they bring it back to their site, what they do with it at their site.
they tear it apart, tear them apart.
Again, my apologies for missing.
We'll get you there one day.
You folks, I was gonna be there. didn't
Well, I didn't say I worked the event. I participated. I didn't work.
I? No, but I was very much anticipating you're gonna be there at this one, because
We were fine. I mean, we have it down to a science.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
I would have just to show up, just to say, you guys are doing a great job.
we had Phil, he was.
Oh, the
police
detail officer,
officer,
Phil.
so everyone loved him, so,
Everybody
Yeah.
enjoys him.
yeah, that was it, yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah,
But it, I mean, it really went off without a hitch.
That alone would have been worth the visit, because I would have been out there with Phil. I might have taught him a couple of new moves. This one,
Next year,
next year.
Well, I told him to be prepared for hazardous waste day, which is the next topic. So I'm hoping he'll be on detail for hazardous waste day.
That would be pretty cool.
and he's often up here next to my house.
In your
doing
front
the
yard?
Dance, yeah, no,
Nice.
parks his car in my driveway.
right, next.
All right, so the next is the 2026 hazardous waste day. Let's see here, share.
August 29th, is it?
August 29th. Bam. On screen. So it's August 29th. It's from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. This year, it is going to be at the Misco School. This is open to Mendon residents only. Again, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Saturday, August 29th. And this day will also be document shredding day.
Who'd you get for that? Did they provide them too?
Who's that?
For the shredding?
E.L. Harvey, that's part of our contract to provide a shredding
Oh.
truck for us.
Truck. I'm bringing some stuff this year.
And since Chairman Greenberg was with us at the event at Misco for the, we walked the property and I was showing him the layout of what we're looking to do.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, and actually that small fenced in area,
Yeah,
I wonder if they'll even be there.
it's still, it may or may not.
Yeah, because school will be starting, so they may have a deadline to get out of there just about that time.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah, there you go, Jack.
so how,
So North Ave.
Yeah.
You're gonna pull in.
Yeah.
You're gonna go up and around.
Okay.
And you're gonna continue to go all the way up.
Yeah.
And this is where you're gonna start turning. This right here is where there's a fence currently right now because Misco's going through some renovations. So there's a fence put up. But there is enough time, leeway for the cars to turn around. And we'll have the hazardous waste dumpster on the opposite side. So when you make that turn, you'll drop off your hazardous waste. So then once you dump the hazardous waste, you're gonna come back down. Stop again. And if you have shredding, you can drop off your shredding here. But the exit will be down here. But if you only have shredding, we're gonna allow you to come up, then just wrap yourself around just to do document shredding.
okay.
Good plan.
So that's what we're looking at.
Is there an option, if you go back up to show the school, Jack? Now, right there, at the top end of where that building is there an option if people want to go out that way?
There's a dead end that down there.
Let that end it? You can't
Yeah.
get through there?
Yeah, you can't get through. That's what I was thinking, but you can't get through there.
We could probably put a huss or a cone up because people are gonna,
Have to
Yeah.
make sure it's a shortcut.
Yeah.
right,
You think they can get out of Dodge.
exactly. And then you'll see them all turning around and that will be a cluster.
Catastrophic.
Mm,
Cool.
So that's it.
good word.
Awesome.
Right. Excellent, looking forward to it. Any questions on the Board of Health admin updates, comments? Very good, moving on, health agent updates, please.
We received a couple of complaints regarding business at 30 Cape Road from the Bate Street residential neighborhood. Working at night after 8 o'clock at night. Their business is race cars that they work on and, and maintain, but not at 8 o'clock at night. So I telephoned the business owner and had a nice conversation with him. And he apologized. He said it was a one-time thing. They had a big race that weekend and they were kind of under the gun. And that he apologized, that if he disrupted the quiet enjoyment of the streets residential neighborhood. I explained to him that, we received quite a few complaints, so if he could just make himself aware of the fact that he does in fact abut a residential neighborhood, which he was aware of that. It was just like he said, it was this one-time circumstance. So I let it go at that, and we haven't had any complaints since then.
Brought any free tickets to a racing event?
No. I didn't ask them either. Then up at the Hastings Street Plaza, you know, we had a complaint about the dumpsters up there. Jack and I went up there and took a look at them and addressed the concerns. We also been over at Cape Road with the dumpster road there. We got the drop off of the clothing and the book dumpsters after having a conversation with the property owner of the plaza at Cape Road. She never authorized them and she wanted them removed. So worked with those two organizations and they finally got removed. Took that dumpster that was on kitty corner next to the greenhouse pub there. I just felt that it was too close to the restaurant. I actually would prefer to have it moved in behind the building with the rest of the dumpsters. However, Sunny Farms, that's their dumpster, they have no back door to the back of the building. So I just felt that that would, you know, that would be a long way for them to have to carry, right, you know, and it was really kind of unfair. So Jack and I went over there. We spoke with Sunny Farms, actually gave him two choices of where he could have the dumpster moved to, back to the middle where it was for 100 years, or there were two parking spaces, you know, by his store, which would be actually closer for him. We gave him that choice and he chose to put it back where it was before. Still close to the restaurant, but my concern was where it was kitty cornered. Greenhouse, they have outdoor seating right here, you know? And I just felt that it was just an environment for, you know, vermin. So that's why I had asked them to move it down to where it was before. The other dumpsters are all have been maintained. We did, when we were over there, one of the lids was up, went into the liquor store, addressed the concern. This was the second time, you know, he apologized. He said that they were just out there dumping stuff. So they went out, they maintained it. They did clean up that whole area by the nursery there. What's the name of it?
Lambert's.
Thank you. Because all in that driveway there, all coming down on the bottles, it was, and there was garbage in there and everything. They cleaned that whole area up. So I was happy. We worked with Lambert's. We worked with the liquor store because the property owner told us that the liquor store is really the overseer of the property for her because she lives in Island.
Island, yeah.
Yeah, she lives in Island. So, so anyway, we addressed those issues. We are going to go up to the other plazas to make sure that all the dumpsters are in compliance so that, you know, we're not just singling out one particular plaza. And we've had a few complaints, housing complaints. We had a complaint today about a rooster. Jack and I went and visited the property and no one was home. Yeah, I know. No one was home, so we left one of our handy dandy door knockers there. We'll follow up with that. And we're addressing the housing complaints. Nothing,
Berkshire.
no, nothing.
What part of town was the rooster in?
Echo Road.
Echo Road. The board has been there prior.
That was my next question. Okay.
So we left a door knocker, you know, 24 hours. If they don't, I'll follow up. And as far as the food trucks, I mean, it's food truck season. You guys know it's the season. So Fridays and Sundays, we're at Vandervalk. Vandervalk is wonderful to work with. Lisa and Mr. Vandervalk, I mean, actually the whole family, I should say, are really a pleasure to work with.
They in full swing with the A-frame now?
Not yet.
No.
Not yet. No, they'll be making that move probably, I want to say like next month.
Is that
Yeah.
across the street?
Yeah. Yeah. Lisa came in today. Jack said she had a question about a grease trap, so I'll follow up with her tomorrow.
Now, is that to extend their season?
Yes, so that they're year round.
Because at one point I heard they were gonna make that a pool.
I think that's part of it. Yep, I think
Really
that's,
with the food element.
not sure. I have to talk with her, about what she's gonna do there. I haven't really, sat down and found out exactly what the plan is. She's still gonna have food trucks only, and then you can eat inside. Or are they gonna be cooking inside? Because that will change things for them as far as the seating and whatnot goes. They have their egresses and the bathrooms and things like that.
Just going back to the dumpster thing at the Hastings Street Plaza, what specifically were concerns up in that area? What was
Just the lids being opened, garbage being left on the side of the dumpster. What was the other concern?
It was dental practice that they have the,
Oh, that's right. Oh, I forgot about that one. Thank you. Medical waste on the ground. Yeah, not a lot, called up, spoke with,
PD.
oh,
the
that's
office
right.
manager.
See, I didn't know that at the time. Just like give her a heads up, people that are parking in the back there was, the suction thing and some other
Yes, she
stuff
was-
and everything.
she could
Yeah, she was horrified.
Dynamo.
She was horrified.
Yeah.
She said, what? I said, yeah, Jack and I were just up there a little while ago, if you want to go outside and take a look. She said, I certainly will. And I had no doubt that she wouldn't. I didn't realize that it was her until afterwards he told me.
Yeah, I met you down once over the winter,
Right, yeah.
just out of, I happened to be there doing some snow blowing and she was coming in and wanted, you sure it's going this
And then just in the back there, like where all those other dumpsters are, sometimes they get a little lazy. Oh, there were a couple of bags. This was a couple of weeks ago. I just happened to, every once in a while, I'll go take a run down there. And I went into Subway and they got preoccupied, blah, blah, I left the, I said, that's an invitation for, an animal. And then it's gonna be all over the back of the plaza, So other than that,
Let us know how the rooster shakes out.
Oh, definitely, once we get that squared away.
We have guidelines in place.
Yep.
And we have an animal inspector that's local.
That's right.
oh yeah, I'll take, if it doesn't work out, I'm sure they weren't aware of it.
That's the
I wrote-
same guy that's up on, off of,
It's on Neck Hill.
Neck Road.
Yeah.
Across.
Yes, yes.
So, and we have, like I said, we have those handy dandy door knockers that Jack made up for us, and I wrote on it what the issue was and to please contact the office, so.
So waiting to hear back.
All right. Anything else on comments, South Asian update? Excuse me. Topics not anticipated within 48 hours. Anyone?
Just, we're gonna have another heat wave.
Having a heat wave, tropical heat wave.
Yeah,
Oh, it's just gonna do the same thing.
I beat you to it.
just,
So keep going.
elderly, check on your elderly neighbors.
Good and welfare for the board?
Joyce? No? Tom?
It's a couple things just to mention, like the announcement stuff, but we got informed of the opportunity for professional photographs to be taken. Hope for the folks out there, the town is going to look to incorporate the wonderful photographs of all the people that serve you. July 15th, is that still the date, Jack?
I believe July 15th, yeah.
So I guess for those that are interested, we have to confirm with you if we're going to be there.
Yes, so I can let them know
I
that we
think the
are.
photographer is, I understand, is coming around to the different departments.
Correct,
As opposed to everybody going to one
correct.
place. So the photographer will make the rounds.
So where do we have to be?
Our office.
Our office,
Okay,
Yeah.
so
if you're available.
the three of us together.
I know the select board is taking a group photo as one picture.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Well, that's
So
a
instead of
good-
doing multiple pictures, just one group photo.
What day of the week is that day?
I believe it's a Wednesday.
I thought they were supposed to be headshots.
They're doing headshots, but when I was talking to Jeremy, the select board will be doing a group photo as a select board. But Jeremy will have his headshot, and whoever else wants to have a personal headshot.
So if we do a group photo, we gotta get creative. We could do like a,
Mess up?
the quartet, like a barbershop quartet outfits with the hats.
You can do it all and then we'll just do what you say.
Oh,
There you go.
don't ever admit you do
I'm
that.
not big on having my picture.
There was that, oh, it's that time of year for mosquitoes. We got our first virus report. So far, everything's great. No issue. Everything's low in terms of no exposure and risk right now, pretty much throughout the state. So I guess they did have 5 mosquitoes that did test positive for West Nile virus. So hopefully that trend will stay down. I was talking to Jack about this, and I may have him jump in. I thought it'd be a good time to bring up the beach lake testing. We're kind of in the season now, and beach is now open. Now I know we've had a round of testing, so I may let Jack kind of tell us where everything went with the testing so far.
So on the Board of Health website, on the Town of Mendon website, there is still a link, the task force link. The task force has been disbanded, but there's still a main webpage for it. And on the left-hand side, you have a link for water quality testing results. If you click on that, this is where, once I get the results in, let me see, I can shrink this down. Shrink this. How do I shrink this down?
The minus sign,
Where's the minus side?
move that thing over. Right there.
There we go. There we go. Thank you.
Mhm.
So once I get the results in from Microbac for the testing, I'll be inputting the data here. Let's see, we want 2026 results. So currently right now for the testing that we have received already, it's well below the 235 threshold that the state puts for the beach.
We're off to a good start.
So we're off to a good start. So I'm waiting on the results for 629, and we just tested again this past Monday. So I haven't received the results yet. So we did a full lake test on 615, just the beach on 622 and 629, and a full lake test again on 76. We're doing a full lake test every 3 weeks. So we'll go full lake, beach only, full lake, beach only until the beach closes for the season.
I'm very happy to see the numbers on the whole lake. That was,
Good, yeah.
so folks out there that, concerned about that part of it as well.
Normally, what's the turnaround time getting results?
For right now, they're waiting until everything comes in right now. We're testing for chlorate because of the fireworks and stuff like that. So we did a pre-test, hence was the 629. And again, we tested for chlorate again on 676 after July 4th. Chlorate takes a long time for them to get the results.
Okay.
So they want to send us all the results at one time. But if it does exceed 235 from the state, they notify us immediately.
Okay,
Good,
good.
yeah,
So if they don't notify us,
right, then
everything's
we'll-
fine. Yes.
And that was my question.
Yes.
My reason for asking.
It's an 18-hour turnaround time. So they pick it up on Monday. We know by Tuesday if it's bad. If we don't hear from them on Tuesday, everything's hunky-dory. So because these 2 weeks right here, we're waiting on the perchlorate results is when I'll get the reports in and I'll input the numbers there. But again, anybody can click on to the Lake Region Nipmuc Task Force and see the quality results there.
Great.
Good.
Yeah,
And the only other thing I had, thanks, Jack. And actually, you may want to still bring up the webpage. I just wondered if, I know we have a page on there for the Blackstone Valley Partnership. We have a reference like all the different towns, I think, do. I just wondered if there might be an opportunity to put some other data in there or add to what's there. It's the ones, yeah, it's not specifically that one. Something you can ponder. I don't know. I thought that, I don't know if there was something more that we could.
Yeah, we
do with
put
that.
the inspector's names, Jenna's, what she does. You want to do that, Colleen? Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we could just elaborate, maybe not necessarily put names, but just that, we have the services that we also can access through the partnership, and that is epidemiologists, that's a social worker,
Mhm.
health
Community outreach.
inspectors. Well, right now we don't have, community outreach. We have Danielle that does all the food calendars, like with the pantry.
The pantries.
For food insecurities. She does a lovely, actually, what we could put up there is the newsletter. Just keep it simple.
All right.
And she does a lovely monthly, it's monthly, isn't it? For,
I want to say it's monthly, yeah.
yeah, all the locations for food, the food pantries and whatnot. She does that, and we could broaden just
Yeah.
the services that we, because of our involvement in the partnership, that we have access to.
I was happy to be poking around with the different towns, and it looks like they pretty much, I think, all have something, and some had some nice little tidbits and stuff. Thought maybe we could kind of enhance our part of it.
Yeah, we can definitely,
Yeah.
throw a couple more paragraphs up there.
You can do
And
that.
then Danielle's newsletter with all the different, like I said, all the different food pantries and whatnot.
Yep, I can do that.
All I had,
All right, I got a few things.
well, a few things.
Yeah, a few. Measles, unfortunately.
Mm.
Seems to be in the. It's almost eradicated. It unfortunately
Right.
seems to continually be popping up.
yeah,
Is that at the local here
I'm United States.
in the okay.
pathetic.
Are we still looking good here in Massachusetts? As far as we know?
I didn't see anything pertaining to any particular states. Like last year, we had some, was it Texas.
Texas.
Mhm.
was the one.
Texas, for
We
sure.
had some hot spots. I guess I was just disappointed that, it's still creeping up and people is, going through airports and there's exposures,
Right.
things like that.
Well, the problem that I see is that somebody has given them the idea that it's not a big deal. And, it's someone that's part of the system.
I think some of the things that they were presenting of different illnesses that can show up from measles exposure 10, 20, 30 years later those were the things that kind of concerned me. So just because you get exposed to measles, you get measles, clear up, doesn't mean that something isn't going to creep up in your general health later on. So it's kind of an unfortunate situation where it was very infrequent that we would hear anything about measles for so many decades.
Well, because everyone got measles, mumps, the whole line of.
MMR.
You didn't go,
Of
you didn't go to
vaccinations,
school
and then
Right.
unless you got.
then you've got all these offices saying, oh, well, you don't need that. It's nothing. Oh, really?
Yeah, like I said, just kind of a general disappointment.
Huge.
The other thing, and I thought of you, Joyce, was I saw a great story. not really Board of Health related, but it was some boys selling water in Boston. And they were selling water on the hot days, trying to raise money to buy lawnmowers. And then one of the gentlemen that was interviewed, an older gentleman, said that he had a used lawnmower, but he really wanted to buy these boys a new lawnmower. And he said, back in the day, that's what we used to do to make extra money.
Yeah.
So right away, I thought of Joyce. And then one of the newscasters mentioned something, they must have lived in Jersey near the Turnpike at one point. So I thought of our good friend Kevin Rudden. Kevin used to tell me stories about selling water on the Jersey Turnpike.
Right,
It was
Yeah.
probably in the 60s, but this was more, they were feeding it to the cars because the cars were stuck in traffic and overheating.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So it was nice to see those stories and think of people in town that still say back in the day or had
Right.
told me stories about the Jersey Turnpike. And
Is that why
Solid.
Kevin has that connection to the water commission? He's got water in the.
I didn't think of that.
well, he grew up there in the beginning.
Yeah, and I enjoy that story
came here.
that he told me stuck in my head.
Yeah.
You know. So that's all I have.
Mhm.
Right.
At the next meeting,
All right, there's nothing for emergency, so we're gonna skip July 22nd, but it's still gonna be available if something does happen. So we'll schedule the next board meeting for August 12th.
Okay. But it's circles,
no emergencies, folks.
try not to.
Motion to adjourn. Nobody has anything else?
And then we'll be 7 PM on August 12th. All right, just to confirm.
So move,
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Tom, aye?
Joyce, I.
Al and I.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.